Hi, and thanks for watching. Today I'm going to show you how to make this wonderful birthday card that you could give to just about anybody, whether it's a guy or a girl in your life. Even a child would be happy with the cute bubble effect that the bouquet technique can create. I found this really easy way to do it. There's lots of samples online on how to do the bouquet technique. You can do it with watercolor paper and watercoloring and lots of steps. Or what I found, which is way more in my wheelhouse, is just a quick and easy way to get the same effect without a lot of muss and fuss. And you can finish a bunch of cards using this technique very quickly. So the first thing I'm doing is taking a sponge dauber and just swirling around some real red ink. Then I'm going to open up a complementary color, in this case Tangerine Tango. Use a different sponge dauber so the colors don't mix in the pads. And then I'm going to fill in the white area that I left behind with the red with the tangerine. This is still, even though this is probably the easiest way I've found to do this, a multi-step technique. So you're not done after the first pass with the daubers. You want to start fairly light and then keep adding. So now I'm going to bring in both ink pads and I'm just going to go back over the red and burnish it a little bit more. And you'll see when I add ink that the circles that the dauber creates tend to kind of fade away a little bit. So I'm going to add a little more red over here. And then I'm going to add a lot of orange all over the card, and that way I definitely have no white space left. So I'm going to concentrate the orange in the original places that I put it. Sorry, you can hear my table rattling a little bit. So I want to make sure I have no white space left. And then I'm going to go back over the orange just to fade it in a little bit, just to make sure that I haven't missed a single spot. And when you do that, you always want to do that with the lighter color to fill it in. I might pull a little bit of red back to my ink pad, but it's not the end of the world since there's red in the orange. Alright, so now I have a great conglomeration of colors, for a big word. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a template that I created with window sheets and our circle framelits. I just randomly put the 3 smallest circles around and ran it through a couple times. I can place this however I want to, whether I want a lot of big circles or I want to concentrate on some smaller circles. I think I'm going to go smaller on this one, and I'm going to turn it a little bit. The big thing is to just hold my finger down once I decide where I want the template to be. And I'm going to bring in my White Stazon Pad. So this is going to dry pretty quickly, which again I like about this technique. And then, I already moved my white sheet a little, or my window sheet a little bit, but I can put it back where I want it, and now I just need to make sure. So with a fairly light touch, I'm just going to put that Stazon ink in those circles. I do want to get to the outside. I start in the middle of the circle and then work my way to the outside with the ink. And I won't go back to a circle until I take the template off and see how it looks. I'm not sure how well it's going to show up in the video, but the Stazon white, after all that orange and red ink is down, almost gives it a sheen where the white is, which I just love. Moved a little bit, but no crisis. Alright, so now I have some really awesome looking circles. It looks like you can see that okay. And now I'm going to add a few more by just setting it down and swirling. I don't want to overwhelm it, but I don't want a lot of blank space either. So I think one more here, and that'll do it. Oh, I can't resist. One more here. There we go. Okay, now I'm going to stop because sometimes I get carried away and it's just too much. Now, it's not too dry here today, so this isn't going to set up instantly, and I do want to stamp my greeting. So I'm going to pause the video for just a moment, and I'm going to heat set this with my gun just so we can move on with the video. I could just leave it dry for about 20 minutes, but I'm interested in finishing up this video and getting more things filmed for you. Okay, so I'm back and this layer is nice and dry, and now I can finish with the greeting and then assemble the card. So I'm going to switch from from White Stazon to Black Stazon. I'm going to take the cover off of that. And I'm going to take this really bold happy birthday. One thing about this technique is it really stands up well when the greeting has a real bold font to it. So you want to look through your stamps and find those that have the bolder font in order to pop this technique up. I'm going to make sure my card is level with a line on the grid paper. That way when I put my stamp down and it's straight, everybody should be totally happy. And there we go. Happy birthday to whomever has the next birthday. Alright, there we go. And now I'm just going to layer up my card. I have a piece of Tangerine Tango cardstock that measures 5 1/4 by 4, and it's going to take this white layer. I'm going to put a little extra snail on because since I hit this with the heat gun, it curled just a little bit. Oh, my ink isn't totally dry. So one thing when your ink's not totally dry, since I'm working on a matte piece of paper, I can just go like this. And it doesn't smudge it, but it does put the extra ink down on the other piece of paper. Transfers it to my grid paper so I don't have to worry about it smudging on the card itself. And now I'm going to take an 11, with a candy dot just hanging out there. Look at that. And off it goes. I think. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to take an 11 by 4 1/4 piece of real red cardstock, line up the corners, fold it, use my bone folder. I'm going to open it up. I'm going to take the end of my bone folder and I'm going to run it along that seam, and then I'm going to fold it over one more time. It breaks down the fibers on the seam of the card so that your card has a nice crisp fold and it stays where you want it to be. Now this time I just need to do 2 strips of snail, one at either end, and I can finish off the card just like this. Now I'm most likely going to give this to a guy, so I'm going to stop here. If you were giving this to a girl, you could definitely add some jewels or some candy dots, but we're going to stop right there. So there is the original, and there's the one we just made together. Have a great day.
If you like this video, be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel.